Another hot one.
Hello everybody, welcome along. It is round 4 of AGT's GT7 GT3 Championship, and we are at Autopolis this week for what will be some cracking racing. This circuit is a real-life circuit, incredibly challenging piece of tarmac, and do not be alarmed at the video glitching currently happening on your screen. But yes, this will put our drivers to the ultimate test, because there's also a threat of rain that will loom over the heads of all our drivers during the races today. 2 great divisions coming up. Division 3 will kick things off, and then in approximately an hour's time, we will be getting into Division 1. So make sure you stick around for that. I, of course, as always, am your host, your lead commentator, Isaac Foggy. Pleasure to have you here. And alongside me in the booth today is we're currently down a man at the moment. Like we were last week when we got underway, we were down a man, and we're down a man again this week. But it is Matt Dernedde in the commentary box beside me. Good evening, Matt. Pleasure to have you back.
Buenos dias. Good to be here.
Buenos dias, indeed. You have a bit of the inside track. You do a lot of testing for these rounds to get a bit of knowledge, bring a bit of expertise into the commentary box, which is sorely needed, I must say. What can we expect with our drivers today? Obviously, there's a threat of rain coming. Do you think that'll impact the strategy much?
Massively. If it doesn't rain here, tires are going to be the name of the game. This place is a tire shredder. So I think a lot of our drivers will be hoping for a bit of rain to at least cool the track down and help those tires out a bit. But yeah, it's going to be a big track on. If we don't get any rain, the tire whisperers are going to be the ones that bring home the chocolates, I think.
Yeah, I think the people who look after their tires will definitely be served best in this race. Well, let's have a look at the track we are at today. It is Autopolis. A real-life track, as we mentioned earlier, 4.6 kilometers in length, 18 corners, although Google says 19, so the jury's still out on that. The turn 8 complex, some count it as a double corner and make it turns 8 and 9. Others count it as just the one corner, which is what this track map is here that we have, counting it as just the one. So 18 or 19 corners, depending on how you look at it. Still plenty of turning time for our drivers to keep them plenty busy at this circuit. 902 meters is the length of that front straight, so a good run out of 17 will set you up through 18, getting the slipstream down the front straight on a run to the heavy braking zone at turn 1. 19 laps lay ahead of our drivers today. A shorter race, only 89 kilometers, but obviously we are expecting rain, and as such, there's no required tyre today, so you can run whatever tyre you want. Free tyre choice. You may have to use the wets at some stage. We don't know. We will find out. But what a challenging track lay ahead of our drivers today. Let's have a look at our qualifying results for Division 3. So it is Unchained Chief that lines up on the pole position for this one today. Ben Purton lines up in second. So it's a 1-2 for PH Esports. Then Madrick, the man who's gone 3 from 3 so far this season, lines up in third, so on the second row of the grid with Beat 43210 alongside him. Then it's Prometheus, Speedy, Oz Tomo and Alba rounding out our top 8. Then it's Piston and HC Renegade on the 5th row of the grid, followed by Rusty and Heartstopper on row 6, Tristan Mason and BC Bond on row 7, and Corius and Bold Tyre on row 8. Any standouts for you today, Matt Dernedde, in that qualifying session?
Good to see Pertz up there. He's had from what I can recall, a tough season so far. Good to see him on the front row, and of course Madrick being knocked off by not just one but two drivers. So gonna be good to see Madrick do a bit of work this race rather than just driving away at the front.
Yeah, it's gonna be the pressure on for him to keep that perfect record, and we'll keep a very close eye on that as well. No update this week. We're supposed to have an update on our driver of the day points rankings, and I very much apologise, but we will get on that for the next round to give you just a nice picture of where it ranks. Obviously, each week we give driver of the day points, so we'll find out who gets one today, because we are not too far away from racing. Now, there was a red flag to the race start for this race, so they had one go at it, and the cars decided they were going to do anything but go in a straight line, and therefore they had to red flag and restart. So this will be second time lucky for our drivers. So let's head down and check out the, hopefully, proper race start this time. Here we go. Coming towards the line. It's a PHE front row to lead us away. The lights are out. We are away. And that is Unchained Chief off to a great start here as we run down towards turn 1 for the first time. Very overcast at the moment, but very foggy as well. No pun intended. But we will see what happens when we get further into this race, because the rain is definitely on its way. We've got a car off in the background trying to work out who that is. That is Speedy facing the wrong way. That is a huge moment for the number 7 car, the Ferrari, with the Hubba Bubba livery on the car. Nice red livery, and that's a spin early. So I got caught out wide, spun the car, and that's so easy to do at turn 1.
Yeah, what a shame. He had a great quali, but lap 1, as we always say, so he get his head down, he should be able to get back towards the field. But other than that, relatively clean starts. Oh, a bit of a touch there, I think, on Bond there from Corius, I believe that is. So, and he just settles back in. So, reasonably clean start, because that first corner can be super tricky. As there's a GT off the road up the top there as well, runs wide off turn 8 there. So, yeah, pretty good so far, Foggy.
Yeah, pretty good indeed. Oh, just a little look there. There's a bit of toing and froing going on. 5 seconds slowdown for Alba. That is a huge slowdown penalty. I don't think I've
It's insane.
I don't think I've seen a penalty. What has he done to get a 5-second penalty?
My goodness me. He's committed war crimes or something, because that is shocking. 5 seconds. I think he seems like he stopped driving. I think he's actually shocked himself with how big that penalty was. But holy moly. Oh, Madrick's actually lost a spot for start here. So Beat's making some early progress as well. So we've got a Ferrari in the top 3 at the moment. Oh, as he goes for the inside on Pertz as well. Beat is making some headway off the start here. We've got Ferrari 1, 2, 3. Unreal.
It is absolutely unreal. So the Ferrari, strong round here at this stage. Remember, these guys all on medium tyres for the start. So they're banking on the rain holding off and extending this first stint. Obviously, the heaviest rain is supposed to come in first, but we can't get cloud data. As Oz Tomo having a little look in the background. That's Rusty going defensive on Renegade into turn 1. So these guys battling away at the moment. But yeah, that's a huge penalty for Alba, just circling back to that. And I think he must have just decided that an entire section of the track did ist as Renegade has a little look. But I don't think I've ever seen. Well, you only get 3 for cutting the pit lane line, and I still think that's harsh. So that's very interesting indeed, but we move on. He's got plenty of race left to try and come back in this one. Obviously, 19 laps of racing lay ahead of us, as we mentioned earlier. We're only on lap 2, so plenty of time to go. Corius off to a good start. He's up into 13th place, chasing down BC Bond in the Lexus at the moment. And it's been a strong start for the I believe it's the Suck It Up Racing driver. And here we go, piston up the inside of Oz Tomo. That's a great move up into 6th place. And that gets the Defy driver up another spot here. And that was a very clean overtake into the hairpin. And almost textbook.
Yeah, good pass. Oz Tomo going the wrong direction. He's on soft tyres at the moment, and he's also got damage. So those soft tyres around here are not going to last very long. So if he wants to make use of them, he needs to do it now, as he looks for a move on the inside on piston, but doesn't quite find it. And he's got Rusty all over the back of him. So Tomo going the wrong direction at the moment.
He's not going where he needs to go on the soft tyres. You'd think the soft tyres would be the stronger tyre around here, Matt Dernedde, and it doesn't seem to be the case at the moment. They're not really firing the way he would want them to. That's bringing him under pressure from another man who's on soft tyres. So this Nissan GTR is not having the best time around here, but he's going to have a look here on piston. He got a nice exit out of turn 17 through 18, or 19, depending on how you want to count it. But he's going to have a look here, but Piston just positions that car nicely, just slightly off the racing line on the run into turn 1, making it more difficult for Tomo to go for that inside move. And that's smart racing from the Defy Motorsports driver. Very good piece of racing at the moment. Madrick, he's ranging up on the back of Purton here. Beat has jumped up 2 places off the start, so he's up into 2nd, which is a great start for the CP driver. He's flying at the moment.
Yeah, brilliant. I mean, of course, the Ferrari's going to be very suited to this track, and it seems like Beat also seems to suit this track, because he's got a lot of confidence, and he's moving up the right way at the minute, so this is good. I think Madrick's going to have to just play his cards and see what he can do from here, because the GTR isn't really the car for this track, I don't think. The GTR, of course, massively quick in a straight line, but a bit rougher on its tyres, so it's hard to see him getting back from here, but if anyone can do it, it is going to be Madrick, so...
Yeah, well, he's 4 from 4 so far this season, and, 3 from 3. I think we only had 3 races. Can he go 4 from 4? That's what I'm thinking of in my head. And that's the question that we're all asking. And we'll find out at the end of this race, because he's got, what is it now? 17 laps left to get up there if he does want to. He's very good, though, at saving fuel, I've been told. A couple of the drivers in Division 3 tell me that he just manages to find a way to just save a little bit more fuel than everyone else, which means he shortens his pit stop time, extends his stints, and they don't know how to combat that. They're still trying to figure out how and why he's able to save as much fuel as he does. We've got cars going side by side in the background. That's Prometheus and Oz Tomo, and it looks like Piston has lost a bunch of spots, so there was a mistake there somewhere for Piston. This has opened up Oz Tomo, who's finally got those soft tyres to start firing up. And he's looking to the outside. You're not going to get by there. There could be the opportunity for the switchback, though. He draws alongside after a poor exit from Prometheus. This should be move done for Oz Tomo. He has pulled ahead of the CP Motorsports driver, and he's got the job done now into 3.
Great move. Unreal. He's doing quite well considering he's got rear damage. So that car's going to be very, very snappy through the corners, and he's doing a good job. He's sort of made up another 2 spots now. The tyres aren't gone off quite yet, so he's in a good spot at the minute. He's moving in the right direction, which is good to see. Madrick as well back on the point with his fuel. I was just watching him drive there for a little bit. He is definitely short shifting that car, and if you notice, he's also holding higher gears through corners, so that's where a lot of that fuel advantage is going to be coming in. So he'll hold probably 2nd gear through here. No, he's proved me wrong straight away. But if you watch him through here, he definitely short shifting the car and whatnot. So that's where that fuel advantage comes in. I think the GTR also is quite a good car to save fuel, and with that natural bit more straight line speeds, you don't need to rev the car quite as much to keep up. So that might be most of the reason why he's saving fuel, but also to be able to hold the pace and still short shift is quite impressive. So
yeah, well, there's only a few that are really good at it, and one that springs to mind is Andrew Lee. That man is notorious for saving fuel, and that's exactly what Madrick is doing right now while still being fast. And yeah, so penalty is into Andrew Lee here, but it's Unchained Chief that leads the way at the moment. He pulls right across. He's going to dive into the pit lane there for a second, the way that he positioned that car, but he's just getting right out to the inside edge of the racetrack, which now turns to the outside edge of the racetrack on the run to turn 1. And he's got Beat for company. He's on a charge at the moment. The CP Motorsports driver, he is chasing down our race leader. He really wants to try and put himself in a position to win this race. He's been in that position a couple times so far this season. Remember, we went back to Dragon Trail. He was leading and spun from the lead of the race. He doesn't want to make that mistake again, and he knows he has the pace to try and put himself up there.
Oh, I thought he was going to go for it there. He was very close. He's got massive pace at the moment. He's definitely the quickest car on track, on the medium tyre as well, so he's doing a great job. It looks like he's revving the buggery out of that car though, so I don't know where he sits on fuel, but I don't think he really cares at the moment. I think he just wants his P1 spot.
Yeah, I certainly think he just wants to get up in the lead of the race. Track position is everything, especially if the rain comes. It'll negate the disadvantage that he might get from using more tyres now if the rain comes soon. So track position can be key here, can play a role as we move further into this race with the threat of rain looming over our heads. Tomo is now ranging up towards the back of Madrick. So this could be another position loss here for Madrick potentially with the way that this Nissan GTR is flying. But look at the tyre usage. He's just chewing through those soft tyres. They're not holding on anywhere near what you might have expected them to.
No, we did say at the top of the broadcast, of course, that this place does munch its tyres, and the soft tyre, in my opinion, unless you can really get it on like a low fuel run towards the end of the race, you're just going to absolutely monster the soft. So Tomo is about to enter that phase now. That front left is going to continuously degrade, and probably in the next lap or two, it's going to be no good. So it's going to become jelly very quickly. So if he wants this move, he needs to get it done very, very quickly.
Certainly does, and we'll hope that he gets a move on. Like to see him do well and get a good result here after qualifying right down the back. It's great to be up in 5th place already, as I believe he was not too high up in qualifying, if memory serves me correct. I think he was last actually. Now that I think about it, he wasn't last. He was actually 7th. I thought he did a lot worse than he did. So I apologise to Tomo. I thought he had a rough qualifying, but he's actually had a fairly decent qualifying, and he's managed to capitalise early here. Man who has not really capitalised is this man Piston. He made a lot of ground up early in this race. Was up to 6th at one stage, I want to say, and is now finding himself back down in 8th after a mistake has cost him, and it's getting gloves off here.
Gee whiz, these guys are battling hard. Rusty's nursing a really warm front left tyre, and he's about to start going the wrong direction, I think, as he makes big contact with Piston in the back of his car. Drops another spot to Corius, and I think he's going to have Renegade all over him now as well. Rusty's tyres are dead.
Oh, that is a very aggressive move from Renegade there into that corner. Not a place you typically want to try and get an overtake done. And he'll have to settle in behind for now. Here we go, side by side in the exit of this corner. Will there be a little bit of contact? Rusty cuts the corner. There is side-to-side contact, and Rusty's into the wall. That is heavy contact for the Race Asylum driver. And I thought he was going to just clean up Speedy there for a second. That was hard in mouth stuff. And no doubt the stewards will have to have a look at that. I'm not sure how much is in it there. But that is a big incident, and that will cost him a lot of time and damage for Rusty. And HC Renegade gets away with no damage there, but he's now back in 8th.
Good lord. Didn't think he was going to ghost then. That was terrifying. He had a dead front left tyre, and I think you could see it earlier in that corner. He was drifting wide, and he was never going to be able to cut the car back, and he leapt over the curb and made contact with Renegade. So I don't know. He's going to probably feel a bit aggrieved, but I think on reflection, he'll look at that and think that he probably should have gave it up and lived to fight another day. But anyway, this is Div 3. These guys are obviously still, trying to learn a bit of racecraft and whatnot. So, that'll be a learning curve for him, I'd say, and he'll move on from that and learn from it. But anyway, Renegade now picks up P8. Lucky to not pick up any damage there as well, I'd reckon.
Yeah, definitely lucky to get away with no damage. Man also got lucky to get away with no damage after that front to rear contact is this man Piston. And he's rolling around in 7th place at the moment. Not too far behind the car of Prometheus. And that's another car in front. I believe that might be a lapped car, though, maybe. I'm just trying to work that out, because I don't think Prometheus is... Oh, no. Nope. He's the next car up the road. I stand corrected. I thought there was a car in front of them, but maybe they're a bit closer than I thought they were. Anyway, we'll have a look back at this battle. Madrick started to drop Tomo now as those tyres really start to fall off, and he's got rear end damage just to add salt to the wound. He is lagging a little bit at the moment across the road. That is good old-fashioned Gran Turismo servers there for you. Really holding on strong, and I don't know if he'll want to stay out for too much longer. He continues on, but there's really nothing left of that front left.
I would have boxed that lap. There's no way you keep going in that. Look at the lap times. They're dropping so quickly. He's into the 50s now. And I don't know. That's not the choice I would have made, Foggy. I don't know about yourself.
Well, we all know that I'm not one to ask about strategy choices, because I'll always choose the either the wrong one or the most boring one. And the most boring one for me would have been to go medium in this race. But I think the strategy he went for was the soft and hope for a bit of rain, which has not really come. We haven't seen any rain so far. The wipers have not even come on. So 8 laps into this race, almost at the halfway point, and we've seen no rain.
It's surprising. It's super grey out there. I thought I saw a wiper. Always Magic picks up a bit of dust here on the exit. I thought I saw the wipers go off once, so we might have had a sprinkle, but it's just not materialised into rain at all. So, being interesting to see if these guys start thinking about boxing soon, because the last thing you'd want to do is box and then have it start raining. So I think they're all in a bit of a holding pattern at the moment.
Yeah, I think it's a bit of a game of chicken as who is going to box first and take the risk, and who is going to try and stay out for as long as they can. They've got the fuel, and these media runners have the tyres. But if I'm someone like Oz Tomo, I'm not really looking to stay out too much longer on this tyre, because Prometheus is catching me at a rate of knots, and that is not what you want when you're trying to just like maintain track position, maintain an advantage. Look how much he's gaining just through that corner alone on the Nissan GTR in front. He's definitely struggling on those tyres now, looking at a plus 1 minute 50. So not a fuss up. He's all over the back of him now. Here we go, and this will be in for Ostomo, and it is. That is the right call to come into the lane now.
Yep, that had to be it. The tyre is literally, it's down to rim. So I probably expect to start seeing, as you see, piston follows him in. So I was literally just about to say that you can probably expect a lot of our drivers to now follow him in now that someone has taken the plunge. You just don't want to be the first guy and then have it go wrong. But if everyone else starts going, then you just match them, and you're all in the same boat. Then you're all happy families. And if the rain comes, you've all made the same mistake. So I reckon in the next few laps, we'll start seeing everyone pour in, I'd say.
Well, we'll keep a close eye. 98 litres on board for the Nissan GTR, and only 87, which means that Piston comes out right behind the, what is it, the Nissan GTR, I don't know what number it is, number 6 it is. Alba gets the move though, so Alba jumps Oz Tomo after an early stop, I want to say. I think, no, he hasn't stopped yet, so Alba yet to stop, but again, as you pointed out, hard tyre, so he's running long into this race, maybe thinking there'll be some late rain. So we are seeing the various strategies start to play out. So Alba with the hard tyre, Oz Tomo started on he's on the intermediate tyre. That is an interesting call. I didn't pick that up when he first came in the lane, but he is on the intermediate tyre.
I mean, I didn't see any rain. Maybe there's something on the radar that he can see that we can't, but those tyres are going to melt very quickly. I don't know if Piston went on intermediates as well. I don't think he did.
He did not.
But that's a no. So I think Tomo's made a bad call there. And look, maybe he's seen something that we haven't, but at this stage of the race, from what I'm seeing, that's a shocker of a call.
There's no visible water on the track. The wipers are not on, which doesn't tell me that the rain is falling. So I really don't think there's anything in this to warrant an intermediate tyre at this stage, as the leaders elect to stay out. No one's coming to the lane yet for new tyres. Maybe we don't have access to the rain radar. Maybe he's seen something we haven't. I don't know. He is keeping relative pace with Alba at the moment. Don't know if that's more of a reflection on the pace that Alba has, as Speedy now comes into the lane off his soft tyres. So he had heavy damage. This will be a repair job for this Ferrari driver, and he's actually done a little bit better on his softs than what Oz Tomo did, but it will not yield him a massive result in the end, as fuel and tyres go in and on for Speedy. The Hubba Bubba car, damage being repaired, out of the lane. Does he go to the mediums? Yes, he does.
Soft. Oh, he does go medium. Okay.
Does go medium. Soft was a bold call till the end here. He could have made it work if he made it work for that long, but would have yielded him much of a result. Oz Tomo, though, doing that intermediate, almost into the back of Alba there. That's a very aggressive move. He is finding a bit of pace on these intermediate tyres, though, which, I don't know, this is very peculiar. Oh, that's huge contact. He got into Alba on the exit of the corner, and then just sort of helped him around, and then Piston also helped him around, so that's a massive incident.
Well, I think Tomo's going to be a bit of strife for that. Alba, of course, on the hard tyres, I think was struggling for a bit of pace, hence why Tomo was still over him on those intermediates, and I think he's just made a bit of, it's not for us to say, but I think he's just made a bit of clumsy contact there, and we got the wipers going, so here we go. So maybe there is a bit of rain coming through. He's already worn a lot of those intermediates, though, so Going to be interesting, Isaac. This is about to get either very good for Tomo or very bad.
Well, the amount he's used through those intermediates, this is either about to be the best call ever made, or one that's not going to pay off. It depends how much this rain hangs around. You can see there is a little bit of water on the track surface. You can see the rain on your screen now. So it is falling. But how much is it going to fall? That is the question. It's quite heavy at this stage. Is it enough to yield an advantage, though? Fuel going in for Prometheus. What tyres is he putting on? Had he already selected when the rain arrived? He's put on the wet tyre. So Prometheus is going to the wet tyre. Heartstopper is going to the intermediate tyre. So it seems to be the call now to move to those wet tyres as we move into the second stage of wet. So the three little lines down on the water gauge, down next to our little AM Weight Designs logo, is the indication of how much water is on the track surface. The first gap, the first little bracket where it is sitting in now, you don't really need wet tyres or intermediate tyres. There's not that much surface water on the track. The second bracket, you've got to start thinking about that intermediate tyre, and the third bracket, you have to start thinking about the wet tyre. So Prometheus has gone for the wet, which I think is bold, because, Dernedde, there's not that much water, and it doesn't seem to be increasing too much at this stage, the track surface water, and there has to be a lot more for that wet tyre to be effective.
I don't think you need an intermediate tyre right now. There's no spray kicking off the cars. The moisture hasn't really gone over that first line, so if the intermediate tyre is not the tyre you want right now, then I'll tell you right now that Prometheus is definitely on the wrong tyre. The wet tyres are nowhere near being called for yet, so to be interesting. Okay, so we've got race top threes in the lane now, so let's be interested to see what these guys go on, Isaac, because I think another dry tyre's got to be in the move. I don't think there's a need for an intermediate or a wet tyre at the moment.
No, and look at the fuel difference as well. Unchained Chief 20 litres, Burn Purton 23 litres, Madrick 32 litres of fuel left on board. That is a huge fuel saving effort from the Nissan driver. Massively well done. So he should jump these guys in the pits if he puts the right amount of fuel in, as he does. He short fills as well, so jumps them both in the pit lane, and that just shows you how confident he is in his fuel saving ability, because he's underfilled them despite having more fuel in the car coming into the lane. So, and Beats dropped all the way down to 4th position there on those intermediate tyres. So top three all
to me,
mediums.
I think that these top three guys have made the right call here, because Beat has actually lost track position being on those intermediates. So I expect he's going to have to come into the lane again for dry tyres. I think Beat has potentially made a bit of a strategy blunder here.
Ben, I've just noticed, Dernedde, the wipers have stopped. We've got no more wipers, which means the rain has stopped. And that track surface water is starting to move downwards. Means that it's reduced, it's lessened, so we're starting to move the water away, which means these wet tyres, the intermediate tyres, have not been the best call, and those top three have absolutely nailed it with the call to move to a dry tyre, as has Piston. He's on a dry tyre. Tristan Mason is on a very heavily used dry tyre. He's yet to come in for his first stop, but Piston has now found his way past Oztomo, so he's up. The wipers are going again for these guys, though. Can't see any rain, but I think it's all personal preference at the moment, whether you have the wipers on or not. But the lack of wipers for most drivers tells me that rain is sort of past.
Yep, I think if there is any rain, it's probably just going to be a bit of a lingering sprinkle at the moment. That's probably got those wipers going. So, but you can physically see the moisture meter going down. You can see the wet and intermediate tyres are absolutely wearing away stupendously quickly. So I think Piston's going to benefit here, because I think a lot of cars in front of him are on the wet tyres at the moment.
They're on a wet tyre, and Piston has gained a lot on these guys in front. He's flying now that this rain is starting to ease off, and the surface water is starting to decrease ever so slowly, and he's going to be within striking distance very soon. Now the wiper's still going, can't see much rain on the screen, but the wet runners are continuing on, so they're not changing their tyres just yet. They're convinced they're going to make this work as Bald Tyre moves out of the way to let HC Renegade go through. And Beat also in 4th place still on that wet tyres. He's sort of keeping pace. I was saying he's sort of keeping pace. He's not really kept pace, actually. He's dropped off quite a fair way, I think. So that medium tyre definitely seems the way to go at this stage of the race. And Madrick has found himself crucially, though. I think we sort of glossed over this a little bit. You did mention it when they were in the lane, and you called it correctly. Madrick has now found himself with that fuel saving up into the lead of this race and in the prime position to go 4 from 4.
Yep, he's played it perfectly. He just sort of did his... He's actually managed to dictate the race from P4, which is quite surprising. Of course, you usually expect the leader to be the one to dictate the race, but he's just lapped around on his pace, saved the fuel, and he's actually short-filled by about 10 litres under those guys as well. So he's made about a 20-litre difference in the stop, which of course is a massive amount of time, and now he's got track position, fresh tyres, and enough fuel to get to the end.
Yeah, well, let's put himself in the box seat here. Can he hold on? Beat still has the fastest lap of the race from earlier on as those wipers continue to go. There is a little bit of rain on the screen again, so the rain is back. But how much is the rain back? I don't know if it's going to be enough for the tide to change in this race to set up these wet tyre runners to have any sort of advantage over the dry guys out in front. And this is still sliding, which means those tyres are starting to get to the end of their life. You're going to have to start thinking about a dry tyre very soon if you want to make up any sort of gain in this race. And checking in on Piston, he's closed right up to the back of Heartstopper now. Tristan Mason still running. He's going to duck into the lane now, so that's the end of his stint. A very good stint for the Kiwi pit lane driver. 3 litres of fuel left on board. He made those mediums last quite a long time. Here we go. Piston up the inside into turn 1. Heavy braking. Slightly wet surface. There's a yellow flag in front as well. Who is that for? That is Corius facing the wrong way. So he's already a lap down and now he's spun at the exit of turn 2. And that will put him right down in last place now in the Suck It Up McLaren. And it's been a race to forget for this man today.
Certainly has. That's a shame. He's also on the wet tyres, so he's unfortunately made the wrong call on the tyres. You can see the wear on those, and he's only pitted, I think, look at what, 3 or 4 laps ago. So as we get Rusty coming into the pit lane now to drop those intermediates, so I think we're going to start seeing a lot of these intermediate and wet tyre fellas start to ditch the idea. I think they've cottoned onto the idea that the rain isn't going to be sticking around long enough. So as we see Tristan Mason on the racing soft, so be good to see him come back through the field. Now he'll have a lot of pace in that Citroen, and as you saw, he made those tyres last, so he might be one of the few that can make these soft tyres work.
Yeah, well, only 6 laps left in this race, or 5 when they cross the line, and that's probably the average life, the good, decent life of these tyres. So you won't be asking too much, I wouldn't think, of that soft tyre to get to the end of this race. Potential to gain. Prometheus has come in back to the lane again. He's onto the soft tyre, so he's gotten off that wet and decided dry tyres are the way to go, but that's cost him crucial track position. If he'd stayed out, if he'd gone to a dry tyre, only 1 stopped, he could be well up the field at the moment. But Piston, it has paid off for Piston coming into the lane. Everyone else around him, Matt, put on that wet or intermediate tyre. He put on a dry tyre, a medium tyre, and that has paid dividends for both Piston and Speedy.
Yeah, Speedy back up to P5, and if you can recall, he was backwards lap 1 off the back of the field in last place, so making the right strategy calls, he's played himself right back into the top 5, which is super impressive.
Yeah, when he beat, speaking of people that have been impressive, he was fast earlier in the race. He's gone to a soft tyre now. He's got Renegade right behind. Oh, and there's contact, front to rear contact in the braking zone between Renegade and Beat, and that is a heavy moment for both those drivers. And now Oz Tomo is going to fancy himself a look around the outside into turn 3 on HC Renegade. There's a little bit of lagging from all these drivers, which might be the reason some of this contact is occurring, which is not ideal at all. And we'll have to keep a close eye on that battle as we get towards the end, but there's not long to go, and it seems to me that Unchained Chief is slowly starting to build his pace. And so is Madrick, though. He's just done a 48.6. Unchained Chief did a 49 flat on the previous lap. Ben Purton did a 48.6 as well. So these front 3 are starting to lift.
Yep, these guys, this is your top 3 for the win here. So, of course, 2 team cars, so they might be able to work together, but they're going to have their work cut to catch up to Madrick. He's obviously the benchmark for Div 3, so it's going to be a tough job, but I think these guys might have half a chance here. They're in the right car to do it as well, so.
Yeah, these Ferraris are quick around here, and we've seen that today multiple times. Speaking of a Ferrari that is quick, this man, Speedy, it's in his name. He's chasing down Piston for 4th place in this race, which is not what we would have thought after he was backwards at turn 1 at the start of this race on lap 1 and in the gravel trap facing the wrong way. But he's now back up to 5th. A brilliant strategy by that team, which is very rare to say for something or anything related to Ferrari these days in motorsport. Ferrari and good strategy don't usually go hand in hand. But he's up into 5th. Beat is still 6th. Oz Tomo has found his way past HC Renegade. BC Bond, how far off the back of these? Is he not too far off the back of the Razor Asylum Lexus? And he's got Prometheus chasing him down on the soft tyre. BC Bond on a very heavily used soft tyre. That was a bold call to come in at lap 9. Not even half race distance to put on a soft tyre.
Yeah, the Lexus in this track I don't think is a good blend. The Lexus, of course, naturally just a massive front tyre muncher, and combine it with this track, and this is the situation he's in. As it looks like he's just going to let Prometheus go. Yep, pretty smart driving there from Bond. He knows what his situation is at the moment, so he's just let him go, and he's going to... I think his race now is just going to be in the mirrors more than anything else rather than moving forwards.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the case for a couple of these drivers that pitted early for those soft tyres. It's been a bit of a hard luck story for a driver like Prometheus, who now finds himself in 9th place after choosing to go to a wetter tyre. And the rain, it did arrive. We wondered whether it would arrive. It did turn up. It didn't turn up as much as we thought it would have. And I'm sure not as much as most of the drivers in this field thought it would have. So it came back to bite them a little bit and didn't pay dividends, so going to that wet tyre. But nevertheless, it has paid off for drivers like Piston and Speedy. Speedy's now found his way past up into 4th place, so that is a positional change. And he's gone from last place to 4th place. And that is a brilliant comeback drive from the Ferrari driver. Piston as well, though. A great result for him after having a difficult start to this race. Got up through the positions quite early on and then went backwards. But yeah, qualified in 9th, sits 5th. That's a brilliant drive for him.
Yeah, fantastic from both these guys, particularly Speedy, like we said, being backwards at turn 1 and just didn't throw in the towel, and he's put in the hard yards, and he's back up to P4 with the right strategy calls. Of course, Piston benefiting from some other folks making some mistakes, but of course you've got to make the right calls to be there, so you cannot take it away from him at all. And Tomo to recover back to P6 after making the wrong tyre call as well is quite impressive.
Yeah, I think there's been a few guys that have made some interesting strategy calls, but have sort of got away with it. And I think the rain and the period where people went to the intermediate tyre definitely helped with that. And he's back on the soft tyre now, chewing through those soft tyres. It's really hurting him in that Nissan. I don't think the soft tyre was the way to go. And he may actually lose another spot or two here to Renegade and Beat before this race is over, because Renegade's on fresh softs. Beat is on relatively fresh softs, and Oztomo's on some fairly second-hand softs, so we'll keep a close eye on this battle as the race goes on. We'll check out in front. Starting to catch up now, a 48.9, plays a 48.7 on the previous lap, so it's starting to swing back the way of Unchained Chief, and he's putting the foot down to try and catch our race leader.
Certainly, he'll be in slipstream ranges now down that long straight, so he's got a couple laps now to make this work. He's going to have to put in an abs as he goes purple in the first sector, so he's doing everything he can. He needs the lap of his life here to get in that slipstream and make something work here, because he's got a very, very, very good chance of getting a race win here.
Absolutely does. Can he be the first driver to knock off the man who's gone 3 from 3 so far? Madrick, we'll have to find out. HC Renegade, speaking of being in the slipstream, he is in the slipstream of Oztomo, who's just done his best lap of the race. A 47.1. That is super quick from the JM Motorsports driver. Trying to find a way past Oztomo. He's nice and close to the back. Unchained Chief is slowly closing in on the man that is leading the race. This is the battle we're keeping an eye on. Looks up the inside. Is he close enough? No, it was very late on the brakes. And that was a very audacious move from the Peugeot driver, but he just wasn't close enough that time.
Took the words right out of my mouth. I was going to say that was absolutely audacious. He's got so much pace in hand. He doesn't need to do anything too super desperate here. He's got massive pace in that Peugeot right now, so he just needs to keep patient, and he should be able to get a move done on Tomo here. We've got Chief all over the back of Madrick here now. This is going to be super close in the turn 1, Foggy.
Well, this is going to be super close to turn one. It's the last lap. This is the last opportunity for Unchained Chief to get a run on the way into turn one. Doesn't quite get the exit out of 18/19 that he would have liked. And he's not going to be close enough this time around, I would assume. He is sitting in the slipstream, but it's just not enough. The straight line speed difference isn't there in the Ferrari. That Nissan is very quick in a straight line. I'd say Madrick has opened the throttle now. Doesn't need to fuel save anymore. But here we go. This is the last lap of the race. Is there somewhere Unchained Chief can try and get this done? Ben Purton is lurking in the background as well. It's going to be a double podium for PHE if it stays this way. And hopefully it will, provided there's no unforeseen circumstances that occur as we go through this final lap into turn 6 now, I want to say. And he's just not close enough to make a move into any of these heavy braking zones, but I think there's a couple more opportunities that he could get this done if he can keep the momentum up.
Needs to get a good exit out of here and sit in that slipstream and getting up the hill here, because this hairpin is one of the last good opportunities he's going to have. Don't know if he's quite close enough here at the moment as he sits there, and it doesn't look like he's going to go for a move. No, so he tucks in. Oh, Madrick is a little bit wide though, so Unchained does chop a few more meters here as they run down the hill, and this last sector is not really the place, so he's going to need, I think, hope that Madrick opens the door for him, or maybe force something here, Foggy.
I think he's going to have to hope there's a mistake from Madrick, but if there's a man, you're waiting for this man to make a mistake, I should say, you're going to be waiting quite a long time, because he doesn't make too many of those. And Unchained Chief, he's going to have to hope that this is one of those rare occasions. He goes a little bit wide in through the final sector complex, but I don't think there's enough. He has a little look up the inside. Here we go. There's a bit of side-to-side contact. Unchained Chief gets loose. There's a little bit of twitching there, and he's given the place back after a little bit of side-to-side contact through that corner, so he's yielded the position, gained no advantage from it, and that means that Madrick will hold on to win, go 4 from 4 in Division 3, Unchained Chief second, Ben Purton in third, and Speedy, after being backwards in the gravel trap on lap 1 at turn 1, will come home in just a few moments' time. He's not quite there yet, so I won't get too ahead of myself, but he'll come home for a brilliant 4th position, and what a result that is for the number 7 driver. What a result indeed. Piston as well, 5th place in this race for Defy Motorsports after going backwards early. He qualified in 9th, and he gets a brilliant 5th place. And Oz Tomo has found his way back past HC Renegade. So if you saw on the totem, HC Renegade got past him. Oz Tomo found his way back on a very used set of soft tyres. And that is 6th, 7th, and beat. Rounds out our top 8. We'll jump over now and have a look at our full race results. What a race that was. What a final lap between our top 2. And let's have a look at those results. So it is Madrick that brings home the victory. 4 from 4 so far this season. Unbeatable at the moment in Division 3. Unchained Chief, though, put up a very good fight for a 2nd place. Only 2 tenths back. Ben Purton in 3rd. Speedy in 4th. Piston comes home in 5th. Oz Tomo 6th. HC Renegade 7th. Beat in 8th. Prometheus 9th, Heartstopper 10th, Tristan Mason 11th place, Alba 12th, Rusty 13th, BC Bond 14th in that race, and then Ball Tire and Chorus 15th and 16th, and both a lap down after some difficult races for both of them. But Matt Dernedde, what a finish to that first race today, and a bit of action there on the final lap. Unchained Chief wasn't going to let him have that one too easily.
Had a massive snap oversteer. I feel like he should have had that one wrapped up. He's going to be kicking himself over that one, something chronic. That was a race win that's gone begging there for Unchained Chief, I reckon.
Yeah, well, we'll have to get his thoughts. I'll send him a message and see what he thinks, because that definitely was a very good opportunity, and that massive snapper oversteer definitely cost him what would have been most likely a race win, the first person to knock off Madrick. But driver of the day, Matt Dernedde, who are you giving your driver of the day point to this week?
I mean, this one's fairly easy for me. It's got to be Speedy. Last place on the first lap in the sand trap off the back of the field to come back to P4. I mean, that one feels fairly simple for me. That's a super impressive drive and definitely driver of the day material.
I couldn't agree more. And so that is 2 driver of the day points coming the way of Speedy. So Speedy, congratulations. What a race from you. What a race from all our Division 3 drivers. That'll do it for Division 3. Stay tuned though, because very soon we will be getting into all the Division 1 action. So stay tuned. We'll be back very soon.
Another hot one. Get up. I'm waiting for trying to make some sense.
Welcome back. It is, of course, round 4 of the AGT GT7 GT3 Championship, and we are at Autopolis for what is supposed to be a wet race. Not that much rain in the first race in Division 3. Hopefully, things go a little bit better in the, well, not a little bit better, but we get a little bit more rain in Division 1, which is coming up. Of course, I am your host, lead commentator, Isaac Foggy, and back alongside me to call this second race is none other than the man himself, Mr. Pro-Am, Matthew Dernedde. Welcome back, Matt. What a first race that was. And Division 1 coming up. We know we've seen good action from Division 1 consistently every week. We should see some good action today as well.
Absolutely. And with the potential rain, it's going to be interesting to see who's going to be switched on with the strategy calls and who might have some crack showing and have some of the top guys potentially falter. So it's going to be a good watch.
Certainly will be. We'll keep a very close eye on some of those top guys. And speaking of the top guys, let's have a look at our qualifying results. So it is Sharky that lines up on pole, our championship leader. No Caleb Birtles this week. So he is missing in action. Will score no points today. So this is a great opportunity for Sharky to stamp his authority on that championship lead. Really put himself in a commanding position. And Barton is lining up in second. So our man is currently second or third in the championship, I believe, actually, lining up on the front row as well. Justin Ladaway starts from third with ADR Mo. These guys are sort of attached to each other at the hip at the moment every round this season. And they can't seem to escape each other. Wherever one qualifies, the other one qualifies. Wherever one's driving on the track, the other one's also driving on the track. So we'll see how that goes. And if they can play some happy couples today. Pakitas lines up in 5th place. Had some network cache issues coming into this race. He's using a different livery today. So if you see a livery that's not an AGT one, that's just Pakitas. He had some issues loading in, and that was the only way we could get him into the lobby. So great that we were able to get him in, and we'll keep an eye out for that. But Warpig in P6. James Walbutton, a good qualifying for him. He struggled in qualifying so far this season. Not had the performances in qualifying he would have liked, but he's got a 7th place in qualifying today. Hopefully he can convert that to a good result. Matt McCallum on a new wheel this week, moved to a Fanatec after issues with the Logitech, and he's all the techs, but he's in 8th place for this race. And it's Prying Stingray down in 9th. X Stewart 10th, Muller in 11th, S2T Guilty in 12th. Then it's S2T M Dernedde. Now, some of you may think that it's the man sitting alongside me, Matt Dernedde, that is in that car, but I can assure you it is not. It is actually Mr. Matt Dernedde's Spanish cousin, Mateo Dernedde, that is lining up in 13th place, and he's got S2T Greeny right behind him. It's Matt, you've convinced your cousin to come for a drive today. What are we expecting from our Spanish counterpart?
Well, hopefully some good things. I greeted him this morning with, of course, a no hablo español because I do not speak Spanish, so he's quite tricky to communicate with. But geez, he's had a shocker of a quality, hasn't he? So hopefully he can move forwards.
We'll keep very close eye on our man from Spain as this race progresses. But we are not too far away from getting the race started now. 19 laps lay ahead of our drivers, and they are rolling up to the start line now. So we will throw down for Division 1 of Round 4 of the AGT GT3 Championship. Here we go. Citroen, all Citroen front row as we run towards the line. Then an all Ferrari second row, and then a Nissan in 5th place. The Nissans haven't been too good on the tyres in the first race. Can that change in this second race? We are away, but Sharky leads us away with Barton not too far behind. Good start for Justin in the, I said it's all Ferrari. He's not in a Ferrari. He looks like Ferrari when I wasn't looking too hard. Is this actually a Lamborghini? And then it is Mo in the Ferrari in 4th place. And then Pakitas off to a relatively strong start. He's got Warpig behind the PHE car. Good result for them in Div 3. Hopefully he can put on a good result for them in Division 1 as well. And then Walbutton, strong start. Not made any moves so far, but there's Xander Stewart going up the inside of Matt McCallum, and it is a great move from the Kiwi pit lane driver to get himself, or the Kiwi pit lane drivers, to swap positions there. So Xander Stewart pulling the team rank a little bit early here and trying to get himself up the order.
Yeah, nice clean start from all our drivers here. No accidents from what I've seen. So brilliant start from the Div 1 guys, which is what you usually expect. Matt McCallum, interesting at the moment because, of course, we're so used to seeing him at the front of the field. But as you mentioned at the top of the broadcast, he's switched rules recently, and it seems to have cost him a bit of pace, interestingly.
Yeah, well, we'll have to keep a close eye on that because he was having issues with the Logitech. I think maybe he feels the Fanatec will serve him better, but it's not been the same qualifying pace. Maybe that could also be the track. He's just not too confident at this track so far, but we'll keep a close eye on that. We've got Muller riding behind, and then Matteo Dernedde is off to a great start, the Spanish driver, racing on his Australian Smurf account. And he's off to a great start. Started 13th in this race, already up 2 spots. S2T Guilty down 1, and S2T Greeny up another one. And I believe we have lost Prying Stingray, which is very disappointing. Did not make the race start, so that's a shame for him. And he will have to DNF in this race, unfortunately, which is never what you want to see. But it is a great start so far for the man leading our championship, but he's got Barton for company.
2 Citroens on soft tyres as well, if you've noticed. So, of course, as we've seen throughout the season, these 2 cars have been fantastic on tyres. So they feel like they can get a bit of work done with the soft tyres, which should be interesting to see because if you can remember in the Div 3 race, the soft tyres fell off very quickly. So it's going to be interesting to see if these 2 guys can make it work because I think we've got Justin on the medium tyres who's already starting to fall away a little bit at the moment.
Yeah, Justin not really keeping pace with these guys at the moment. He is on the medium tyre, as you mentioned. So a good call from you there. Very keen observation, Matt Dernedde. And like most of the field have gone for the medium tyre at this stage. Most of the front guys, besides our 2 race leaders. But for those Citroens, I don't know what they do to those Citroens, but they just do something to make them even faster in what I would think it is possible for a GT3 car on balance of power 2B, but this is Stewart. He's up another spot now into 7th, so taking a place off James Walbutton, and he is flying at the moment all on those medium tyres, so a little bit loose there through that phase of the corner, but it just seems to be that Lamborghini has a bit of pace going for it at the moment.
Certainly does, and Xander, a very quick driver. I believe he's a control player as well, so it'd be interesting to see how he goes with tyre wear, but I've raced him a couple of times. He's a very quick driver, nice young guy as well. So we've got everyone just sort of in a bit of a holding pattern, guys. And we've got wipers going on here at the moment. So rain already starting to fall here in the Div 1 race, Foggy.
Yeah, rain is starting to fall a lot earlier. Oh, a bit of front and rear contact with Matt McCallum and Walbutton. That sends Walbutton off the circuit. And Matt McCallum is waiting up to redress that position. That was heavy front to rear contact. Neither car got any damage, which is great to see. And S2T Greeny is in PHE colours. He's stepped in for Bryant, Will Bryant, who has had to step out of the series due to the network issues that he's been having and just too much lag. And the decision was made that he had to step away. And S2T Greeny, kind enough to fill that seat and step in for PHE Esports, which is wonderful for them. And now we've got 2 GTRs having a fairly heavy battle. But rain seems to be falling. The wipers were on. But there's no surface water on this track just yet. So we'll have to keep a very close eye on that. And Matteo Dernedde, he's saying Buenos Dias to the field. He's announcing himself as a very strong contender here. Sort of maybe didn't show his true colours in qualifying, as he's now up to 8th place in this race. He's doing a wonderful job, your Spanish cousin, Matt.
Oh, vamos. Good to see. I love to see this. It's good to see him moving up the field. I think he did have a fairly muted qualifying session. He texted me a bunch of Spanish expletives after it happened, so it's good to see him moving up the field. As Xander and Warpig ahead having a bit of a ding-dong battle at the moment.
Certainly are. Xander is he's trying to move forward in this race very quickly. He's putting on some aggressive moves, and it's what we love to see from all of our drivers. Obviously aggressive but clean moves. You don't want to be taking anybody out, of course. And he's put on a charge here at the start of this race. Hopefully he can put a move on Warpig, move up another spot, and that's what he'll be hoping anyway in the Kiwi pit lane camp. That rain a little bit on and off at the moment, so not consistent at this stage, and nowhere near consistent enough for there to even be surface water on the track, as Pakitas goes purple in Sector 1, 80 RMO. Still not too far away from Justin Ladaway, so he hasn't let Justin get away too much. But Justin has started to let these two out in front on the soft tyre get away. That may not pay dividends though, because these guys will have to make these soft tyres last a very long time to get to at any stage of the race where the medium tyre will be effective till the end.
I mean, looking at the tyre wear, these guys are doing a fantastic job. We're nearly 4 laps into this race, and they're not even like a quarter way through these tyres. So I think they'll be able to get to the medium tyre relatively simply, unless the rain throws a spanner in the works.
That is a very good point, actually. We'll keep a close eye on what this rain does. Trying to find a way, just get an understanding of what the rain's going to do, but I don't really think there's any data that we can borrow. It doesn't let me change from the track map to the weather radar. We're sort of just stuck on that track map down the bottom right-hand corner. It'd be nice if we could get a bit of the rain radar to tell us what's happening out there in Japan, outside the commentary box. But for now, we just sort of have to play the guessing game and rely on the windscreen wipers to give us an indication of when it's raining. It's very misty out there at the moment. A lot of cloud cover. The headlights are going, and you can see they are having an effect on the road. So the light out there at the moment is not super strong. And Pakitas sitting in 5th place. So quiet race so far for these front guys, Matt.
Yeah, I was just about to say that it looks like Xander and Warpig have come to blows there. I saw Warpig drop 2 spots rather rapidly. It looks like he's about to drop another one to Muller as he pulls out of it. So bit of a poor lap 4 there for Warpig.
Bit of a poor lap indeed, and we'll have to get to the bottom of what might have happened there for the PAG Sports driver to fall as far as he did. But that's gifted another spot to Stewart. It's gifted another spot to the Spanish driver, Matteo Dernedde. He's saying, vamos, thank you very much, to the man behind, who's now dropped two more spots as Warpig in one corner. So he is struggling at the moment.
Yep, massively at the minute. Just going. It's one of those things where once your momentum gets disrupted, you just start going the wrong way very quickly. And Guilty, Muller, and Xander, they're all very good friends. I'm nearly guaranteed they'll be sitting in a party together. So they probably all sort of work together here. And Warpig, unfortunately, has copped the raw end of that stick, I think.
Yeah, that's very frustrating for Warpig to continue to fall the way he does, but there's a long way to go in this race. Plenty of opportunity to try and come back through the field. Walbutton also has not had the race start he would have wanted. He's down to 11th place in this race at the moment. Matt McCallum, same. Not a great start for him after I don't know if it was a great qualifying, but it wasn't a bad qualifying. It was not terrible for the Kiwi pit lane driver. Lost a position off the first lap to his teammate, and it's just sort of been downhill from there for him. But we'll keep a close eye on whether he can bounce back here. Xander Stewart off to a great start, up into 6th. Paquita still running around on his own in 5th. The front, it's not really changing much at the front at the moment. It's just sort of line astern, business as usual.
Yep, these two, I think, are just running their pace, keeping these soft tyres in check. As you can see, on to lap 6, sorry, and only halfway through these tyres. So the Citroens and these two guys are doing a fantastic job of nursing those tyres. You'd love to get a massage off these guys, wouldn't you, the way they're caressing them at the minute?
I don't know whether the Meta and Sharky would be too thrilled about offering up massages, but the way they look after these tyres, if they got one going, I don't think many people would say no. Tell you who would love a massage right now is K-Dot. He's not racing this week, and I think that's just as a result of the Dusty curse. There's no Dusty, there's no Max this week. K-Dot, where are you? You should be racing. There's no one here to curse you. So I think he's gone into hiding, and hopefully we'll see him back next week. I think he's gone to do a bit of a, I don't know if it's exorcism is the right word, or maybe a ritual just to try and rid himself of that Dusty curse to come back next week and have a good performance.
Maybe that's why we don't have Dusty this week. Maybe K-Dot's done some voodoo curse and now Max is trapped in the basement somewhere, because it's sort of worked out that they're both not here this week, which is quite a coincidence.
It is quite a coincidence. Maybe we'll have to look into that. And K-Dot, if you're watching, whatever you've done with Max, just make sure that he's got food and water and somewhere at least semi-comfortable to sleep, and just let him out. Maybe let him out of the commentary box for the last race of the season at least, so that we have someone to talk to for all the racing that we'll be witnessing at Le Mans. But yeah, well, I don't blame him if I'm K-Dot, because definitely been put the curse on him so far. But this is S2T Green. He's running around at the back at the moment, just sort of putting in 49s. Not the race pace you'd probably want. It is on the medium tyre, but he just seems to be struggling for race pace at the moment.
Yeah, I think I think I saw something earlier in the week where there was a case of mistaken identity, I believe. So Greeny, he's been lobbed in probably what he would feel is probably the wrong division, but he's still here having a crack, which is good to see. He's improving every week, and that's the right mentality to have. He hasn't thrown his hands up and thrown in the towel. He's just still showing up, doing his best. And look, occasionally he's beating some guys here in quality in the race, which is, it'll be good for his confidence, and it's just really good to see.
Yeah, it is great to see, and obviously we've got a couple greenies that float around in the AGT Discord, and so I think he definitely feels like maybe there's a bit of a case of mistaken identity. But don't get me wrong, he is quick on his day. He does have pace. I just don't think he's quite gelling with this track at the moment. And as you said, he is sticking with it. He's pushing on, and that's what it's all about: getting across the line, getting some points in the bag, and that's what he's doing for his team, which is exactly what Hedges and Purton ask of their drivers, is just to bring home some points at the end of the day. But speaking of this man, Matteo Dernedde, he's got himself past Xander Stewart and up into 6th place, and the wipers are going again, Matt. So the rain is back, it seems.
Yep, got a bit of rainfall on track. There was a little bit of moisture on the meter there, which is now gone away. So not a massive amount of rainfall. I think Matteo is actually going to be saying gracias there to Xander, because I think he actually has flicked the indicator on and let him through. So these two might potentially be having a crack at working together, maybe.
Well, that could be dangerous for the drivers in front, because there is a potential for them to gain places if they do that, because everyone at the front's just sort of running on their own at the moment. Pakitas is on his own. Mo's not really dropped too much, Justin, but probably not enough to be in an effective slipstream range. And then these two out the front, they've started to separate, run their own race, and the question now becomes, what do you do about strategy? You're on the soft tyre. Do you try and make it last another lap or two and go another set of softs to the end? Do you come in now and go for a medium? They've made these tyres last fairly well, though, so I wouldn't be surprised with the no mandatory tyre requirement if we just see them run a soft in this race.
I'd be surprised to see a soft just to go against you, but I mean, stranger things have happened. It's going to really be dependent on this rain that keeps on sort of teasing to fall. They can probably get another lap or two out of these tyres if they want to try and hold off for the rainfall, but they'll be due a pit stop soon, I think, because that pace is going to start falling away, which it already has done, actually. You can see there on the lap time totems, they've dropped near enough 2 seconds a lap at this stage.
Yeah, that's a big gap, almost 2 seconds a lap. So that's a huge time loss for these guys. They're almost at 47s, which is what I think Justin has been in relatively consistently. It is. He was in 46s, now he's in 47s. So they're coming to about par with the medium tyre at this stage. He continues on for another lap, though. So they must know that, or must think that there's something going to happen soon. Maybe some weather that could throw a spanner in the works. The windscreen wipers are going for these guys at the moment, so there could be some weather on the way. Go on board. Can we see anything on screen? We can see a little bit of water on the screen, and there we go. There's a huge amount of rain now. That is a massive amount of water. So here is the rain.
Oh, there's a bit of rain, but it's only a small patch, so it's going to be important that these guys don't get spooked by that. It's very easy to see the rainfall on your windscreen and go, oh no, we need some intermediate tyres, and then you get caught out like a lot of the Div 3 guys did. So going to be a case of keep the car on the track, keep your head screwed on, and just make sure you assess everything that you've got available to you. Of course, these guys have got weather radars available to them that we don't have. So it's going to be very important that these guys just pay attention to that and make the right call here, because this is going to be a critical stage of the race.
Absolutely it is, and we'll keep a very close eye on what everyone decides to do in these next few laps as the rain continues to fall. The track surface water is going up almost to that first line, which will indicate that it is time to maybe start thinking about the mediums. It's not quite there yet, though, so you don't have to worry about that just yet. And we'll keep an eye on when that maybe does tick over. Obviously, as you mentioned, Matt, these guys have weather radars. We don't have access to that information, unfortunately, so we can't see what is coming for these guys, what is left to fall, but they'll know. They'll have all the data, and be able to make an informed decision as we see these guys. This is our race leader, Sharky, coming through the final corner now, the second last corner. This is turn 17 through 18. Does he come in? He does move across to come into the lane, but what tyre is it going to be? Is this going to be an intermediate for Sharky, or is it going to be another dry tyre? Let's find out.
Got to be a medium. The intermediate's not the tyre at this stage. If these guys put on an intermediate, I just don't think it's the right call whatsoever. So interesting to see. They're both in, so let's see what they do.
Fuel going in
Fuel
for
and
both
tyres.
drivers. Out.
Difference in fuel as well.
Ooh.
Barton's actually jumped Sharky, and Sharky's on the intermediate.
Barton's on the soft.
And Barton is on a soft. So here we go. So this is going to be interesting. One of these guys are going to get a massive advantage here. And at this stage, I really think it's going to be Barton because I don't see much rain falling.
No, well, someone's made the best call here, and someone has made what will be the complete wrong call. Which one will it be, though? Matt is leaning towards Barton, and with the way that the rain is falling at the moment, I tend to agree. There is very minimal rain on that windscreen at the moment for the JM Motorsports driver. And they're now caught in a bit of traffic as well, as Warpig has continued to fall down the order, back to 12th now in this race. And Sharky, I think he may have... there's rain falling in the middle sector. So the middle sector, there's a little bit of rain, but it's a case at the moment of it's so patchy that some sections of the circuit are more wet than others.
Yep, he's going to know... Look, Sharky's a switched-on driver. He's going to know very quickly if he's made the right or wrong call here. So... if he's made the wrong call, expect to see him in this lap because he'll have an idea because it just doesn't seem like it's working at the moment. If I was him, I'd be in this lap to try and minimize the time loss. If you've made the wrong call, just admit defeat early and try and recover what you can because at the moment, I think Barton's called this bang on.
I think he has, as the rain is slowly falling ever so lightly. What will Sharky do this time? He tries to go around the outside of Matt McCallum. There is a little bit of spray on the edge of the track, so there's water off the racing line. But on the racing line at the moment, there's not enough water to create any sort of spray. It's just not holding on the surface. And what will Sharky do this time by? Does he dive in? He does. So that tells me he definitely made the wrong decision. And those inters were not the right call as a bunch of cars come in. So Matteo Dernedde is in. His first pit stop in this season so far for the Spanish driver. Xander Stewart's into the lane. S2T Guilty is in the lane. Sharky's in. Warpig's in. Greeny's in. So the entire back end of this field is in. Matt Dernedde's come out. Matteo Dernedde, sorry, that's you. You are Matt Dernedde. Matteo Dernedde. There's too many Derneddes. I'm trying to keep up. Xander Stewart has also gone to the medium. So two of these guys on the medium tyre. Sharky's gone to the softs. So he'll have the pace advantage over these guys in front, but he'll have to try and find a way past.
Yep, big blunder there from Sharky. It's hard to see him getting back to the front of the race from here. This is going to be purely a damage limitation run for him now, this is the race for him with obviously Caleb Birtles, as we mentioned, being out. This was the race for him to make some big points, and I think he's had a bit of a strategy blunder there, which is not... He's still going to gain points, but not as much as he probably should have done now.
No, he definitely will not gain many points as he should have. And this man here, Barton, has now basically got a free kick to the race lead. And if he can keep it clean here, the race win. With only 9 laps to go in this race. Justin Ludaway, he's leading the race at the moment provisionally. Yet to stop. Made those mediums go on for a fair while. Kept pushing on through the rain. And he's going to push on yet again for another lap. So is Mo. So both these drivers continue to push on. Bakita's continuing to push on. Muller is still continuing, as is Walbutton. So the top 5 cars yet to pit. Walbutton now comes into the lane. So he's had enough time for a fresh set of tyres. And this man on our screen in the box seat.
Yep, I'd suggest the top 4 are probably trying to push through to get to the soft tyre, I'd imagine, so they can finish off the race nice and strong, put some fast laps in, and yeah, at the moment Barton's looking pretty good. He's still got to get those softs a long way home, but with that bit of moisture on the track at the moment, that's actually going to help him with the tyre wear. They won't wear quite as hard. The tyres will stay nice and cool, so hard to see it going away for Barton now unless he makes a big mistake.
Yeah, I don't really see anything, unless we get like a massive amount of rain as well. But I don't know if that's going to happen with only a handful of laps to go. This man at the moment, the second car that has stopped in this race. So got a fair gap between himself and Barton. Where he'll pop out, not entirely sure. I would think somewhere towards the realm of 5th or 6th. Sharky has jumped Stewart and is now setting after Matteo Dernedde. So Sharky will be saying Buenos dias, hola, to Matteo very soon. And I don't know what the Spanish word is for please go away, but I think that's what Matteo will be saying when he sees Sharky range up in the mirrors.
Well, I have found the Spanish word for that car is going very fast, which is I think what Matteo would be thinking at the moment, which is, of course, ese coche va muy rápido, which is that car is going very fast, which, of course, is Sharky at the moment. He's going to be moving on those soft tyres. I'd imagine that Matteo is going to come out quite close to Mo and Paquitas potentially because, of course, he's going to be getting a big undercut on those fresh minis at the moment, and the top 3 have come in, so going to be interesting to see this. I think it's going to be very close on exit. Paquitas should jump Mo here in the pits as well with that fuel advantage too. 13 extra litres on board.
He did take a lot of fuel. That is a potential podium maybe gone begging for Mo. Fuel save, Justin does switch to the soft tyre, so you spoke about getting that soft tyre advantage. Paquitas does jump Mo, and he'll come out in 4th. Where is Matteo? Here he is. And a little way behind Mo, but the soft tyre advantage should be key here for the Defy Motorsports driver. But we'll keep a close eye. There's not a lot of laps left to run. Matteo has his tyres up to temperature, right in behind Mo at the moment. A little bit wide there from Mo. There's a little bit of rub between the two. I don't think there was contact there, but it was definitely close. And now we have a little bit of a battle on our hands for 4th place.
Yeah, Mo with a bit of the Como Estas asking how Matteo is. That was nice and close between those guys, close quarters. But Mo should now take off here on those soft tyres. Mo's a rapid driver, combining with a bit of soft tyre. Matteo's going to have no chance of holding with him, I would imagine. So it's going to be a bit of mirror work for Matteo, with Sharky closing in very quickly with the fastest lap of the race on that last lap by.
Yeah, well, he's put the foot down because he wants to get back as many points as he can. He sits 6th at the moment on pit stop correction. He'll want to be further forward than that. Looking at what could potentially be a 4th place at least here for him, which would be a great comeback through the field after having to serve an entire extra stop, making the wrong call, I believe, as well. He was the only driver in the field to go to a wet/intermediate tyre, so that was a very bold call indeed, because it didn't seem that anyone else did it.
No, definitely the wrong call there, which, look, you're the first car in the pit lane, you're the first guy seeing the rain. It's always hard to make that call, and again, you know, you're always learning, even these Div 1 guys, so he'll learn from that call. I doubt he'll ever make that mistake again. So, but, you know, he's got the pace to at least get back up to 4th place here, which all things considered would be a great recovery, as you say, making a whole extra pit stop over everyone else. Actually, 3rd place isn't too far up the road, so there's still a possibility there for a podium for Sharky.
There is, but remember, Paquitas is on that soft tyre. Mo's also on that soft tyre as well, so I don't think it's going to be as easy as Sharky might like. He is the fastest car on track at the moment, but both Paquitas, Mo, they have the potential to be incredibly fast on their day. This man, Matteo Dernedde, we haven't seen too much of him. He usually races in the European circuit, so we haven't seen too much of him here down under. Sharky has a look up the inside. Matteo leaves him room, opens the steering a little bit. They're going to continue to go side by side on the exit, and they're still side by side as we run towards turn 8 now. This is great racing between these two. Those mediums holding on a lot better than I think Sharky would have expected. And Matteo there saying, I'm here. Probably all in Spanish, but saying, I'm here. And buenos dias. I haven't left you yet, mate. I'm still alongside.
I think he was asking Podvola, please don't pass me, but Sharky took that position. That was really good racing between those two. Nice bit of respect shown with both room given by both drivers, and you see the gap that's already formed. Sharky is well on his way now, so that was always going to be a losing battle there, I think, for Matteo.
Yeah, well, question of how long those softs can hold on. There is a long way to go in this race still, and I know the Citroen is very good at nursing its tyres, but it is a big ask compared to the medium tyres of Matteo in front, so we'll keep a very close eye on that. That could swing back the way of the Ferrari driver towards the end of this race if he doesn't let Sharky get too far away from him. He has to try and keep pace, but 45s playing 47s is Bit of a pace difference at this stage. 46 on the last lap. A second and a half difference between the two drivers. Sharky doing... Well, Mo is actually flying at the moment. A 45.2 on the last lap to give himself the fastest lap of the race. So he's put the foot down. He's looking for a podium.
Certainly, but he's much into those soft tyres. He's already put a massive dent to the front left. So he's going to want to be, I think, a bit careful. You know, it's all well and good putting in fast lap after fast lap, but if you run out of tyre at the end, you're going to be vulnerable to the guys behind. So it's going to be interesting. He's got a lot of wear. Mo, of course, I believe is a control player too, so that's not going to be working into his favour either. So let's just wait and see how this goes, I guess. But Mo, of course, absolutely flying at the moment. 45.2 is not holding about. I think the fastest lap in quali was a 45.0, so qualifying laps for Mo at the moment.
Yeah, he is. He's putting the hammer down and going as fast as he possibly can to try and get himself within podium contention. Obviously, as we know, as you mentioned, roller players than tyres do not go hand in hand here, or anywhere on this game for that matter. It is Barton leading the way though, from Justin Ladaway, from Paquitas, from Mo, from Sharky, then from Matteo Dernedde, Xander Stewart, then James Walbutton back up into 8th. Great comeback drive from him so far, and the strategy seemed to pay off running long. He did run long, quite long, but still went to the medium tyre, so that's an interesting call to make. Go to the medium when he pitted on what looks like lap number 12, I believe. Oh, lap 11, I think. Lap 11 was the in lap, lap 12 was the out lap. So that was a bold call to go for that, but we'll see how it plays out for him, because Muller's behind him on the soft tyre, so this could come back to bite James very soon. S2T Guilty, he's in 10th place at the moment for Defy Motorsport on the mediums. Matt McCallum, a race to forget at the moment, in 11th place, has not gone his way. He just hasn't had the pace today, neither has Warpig. Yes, well, I'll get the technical difficulties trying to be repaired. Hopefully we've got vision back for you now, Matt Dernedde, but it is still Warpig on the screen. This is a battle, though, taking place between S2T Guilty and Matt McCallum. So Matt McCallum is trying to find his way back into that top 10. Be a good result, although we talk about how in a 16-car field, it's only 13 today, but in a typical 16-car field, you sort of count the top 8 as your equivalent of the top 10. So this is a battle happening at the moment for the back end of the top 8, and it's Muller and Walbutton, and the soft tyre, a very worn soft tyre. Walbutton drives off the circuit, so I was about to try and hype it up. Who's going to come out on top here? But he's sort of driven off the track a little bit there. Walbutton answered the question for me, and Muller goes through to 8th. He's very comfortable in the top 7 at the moment as well. Yeah, he's got a relative gap to Muller behind. He's on the medium tyre, so not a bad call till the end of this race. And Matteo sort of dropped a little bit off the back of Sharky, but those tyres for Sharky are starting to get on the worse for wear side, and as are the tyres for Mo. Look at that. He's got a much better front right. But you can just see for Sharky, those tyres, even front to back, the tyres are so much more even. No, it's actually quite impressive to have the tyre wear that even. On what is a very high turning circuit, and a clockwise circuit. You would think that left tyre would be doing a lot more work. So he's done well to even it out as much as he has. Peters has sort of looked after his tyres as well. They're relatively even. Barton and Justin's actually looked after his tyres a little bit better than Barton, I would think, at this stage. Probably hasn't pushed as hard. 47s play 46s though, so Justin's starting to push back towards Barton with only 2 laps to go. But I just don't think it's enough at this stage of the race. Yeah, well, we'll keep a close eye. There's a bit of a way for him to go, and there's only 1 lap to go, so it's a big ask. You never know; anything can happen. And Mo, he's really starting to struggle with that front left now. He's nursing that tyre to the end of this race, and Sharky, with his much more even tyre, is starting to come back. And do not count out this man here, Matteo Dernedde. Be getting ready to say buenos dias to these guys in front if they get caught up in any sort of battle. At the late stage of this race, but again, with a lap to go, there's a lot of work for Sharky to do if he wants to get into that top 4. Yeah, this could be a prime opportunity for Matteo on debut to get some valuable points. He's filling in for Suck It Up Racing, I believe, today, and H. Clinton, who isn't racing. So Hillary not racing. So we got the man from Spain, Matteo Dernedde. He said, I'll fill in. I don't know what that translates to in Spanish. We'll have to get Google Translate onto that one. But he said, whatever it is in Spanish, he said, I'll fill in, and put his hand up. That was all it took. And here we go, Walbutton and Muller. So Walbutton, as you called, has come back with that tyre going right off for Muller. And Walbutton has a look to the outside in turn 1. They go side by side. That's very close. Pushes him wide. That's a very aggressive track use there from Muller to try and defend the position. And Walbutton will have to go the long way around again as they run into 3. Looks for the switchback. That's going to catch him back on the outside. And he just sort of drives past as Muller runs wide. Yeah, well, we'll keep a close eye on this. Obviously, we want to keep a close eye on our race leader as well. Barton is coming through the final complex, and Pakitas and Mo has got Sharky for company now. He's right on the back of him. So this is closed right up, and Matteo not too far away, so keep a very close eye on this towards the end. It's going to be this man right here, Barton, is going to come through and win at a crucial time in this season to put himself in second in the championship. Justin comes home in second. What is happening with this here? There's a little bit of contact between Mo and Sharky. Mo understeered. Contact between the 2 drivers. Sharky's going to get 4th. Will Matteo get Mo? He does. It's 5th place for Matteo Dernedde. 6th place for Mo on the line. Xander Stewart holds on for 7th. And Muller has lost out to both S2T Guilty and Matt McCallum and will drop to 11th. So S2T Guilty gets 9th, Matt McCallum 10th, S2T Guilty in 11th. And we'll jump now to look at our full race results. What a race. What an end to that race, especially for that 4th position. Those 3 drivers, 4th, 5th, and 6th. But nothing in it as they cross the line. Here is our full result. So it is Barton that comes away with the victory here. 2 seconds was the gap. So Justin, he was close, but he just wasn't close enough in the end, and he'll have to settle for 2nd place. It is Pakitas, though, in 3rd, a podium for the FR Racing driver. He'll be super happy with that and well-deserved. Sharky comes home in 4th place in the end. but a question mark after that contact in the second to last corner with Mo. So that's being looked at by the stewards. And Matteo Dernedde has announced himself in Spanish, because he doesn't speak English. He's announced himself in Spanish to the grid by saying, I'm going to go from, I believe it was 13th place all the way to 5th. What a drive for him. ADR Mo comes home in 6th. Xander Stewart, a great result for him and Kiwi Pit Lane in 7th. James Wildbutton 8th. S2T Guilty 9th. Matt McCallum in 10th after a difficult race. He'll be happy to come home inside the top 10. Muller, that tyre went off as you called, Matt, and he lost out in the end. Comes home in 11th place. Warpig 12th. S2T Greeny in 13th. And then Prying Stingray lost on lap 1, so did not make it past lap 1, which is a shame. But what a race, Matt Dernedde. What a result. I think this is definitely what he was hoping to do, and no Caleb Birtles has made that much easier. And that's a great result for him. He jumps to second in the championship, which is wonderful for him. He eats into the lead that Sharky has, which hopefully will give us a very exciting championship fight come the end of the season. Obviously, this is now the halfway point. So now that we've concluded this round, we've reached the halfway point. We have 4 rounds to go in this championship. Before we get into what the rest of the calendar looks like, Matt Dernedde, I've got to ask you, driver of the day, who's your pick? Well, I think definitely a very deserving driver to drive the day. However, I am going to disagree with you on this one, and I'm going to give it to your Spanish cousin, Matteo Dernedde. Started 13th after a difficult qualifying, as you mentioned. A lot of Spanish expletives were said after that qualifying, not where he wanted to be, but he put his pace to good use in the race and climbed his way up to 5th, and that's a great result for the Ferrari driver. So well done to him on debut, and sure the entire nation of Spain is right behind him and getting their support around their man, because what a result that is. And must be in the name. Dernedde means that you go fast, and I wonder if that's what it translates to in whatever language Dernedde is from. Maybe it translates to really fast, because that's what both you and your Spanish cousin seem to be, Matt. But we look forward now, as swiftly changing to the calendar. Don't have a calendar graphic, but I can read you the next rounds that we have. So the halfway point, we've had 4 rounds. We've had Trial Mountain, Dragon Trail Gardens, Sardinia, and Autopolis. And now we move next week to, I don't know. I think this is a very underused track on this game, and I'm very excited to see how it plays out. Grand Valley Highway 1. Yeah, it's. I think it'll be a good one to just get back and watch. As you said, good visuals. It's on the coastline, on the cliffside. Have some nice panoramic views to accompany some really, hopefully, great battling race cars. Obviously, the Division 2 and Division 1 will be broadcast next week. Then we head to France for Saint Croix. That's a long track. It's a very long lap, and that'll be a challenging race for our drivers in a different sense. A bit of a street circuit feel to it in sections, and then it opens up into a sort of a flowing race circuit. So that'll be a challenge for our drivers. That's round 6. Round 7 is Watkins Glen, the long version. So the version we're used to seeing with GT3 racing. And we've seen the shortcut version in AGT before. I don't know if we've seen the long version outside of the endurance rounds. So that'll be an exciting piece of racing. And then we finish the season at Le Mans. And that'll be a retro round. So that's going to be a very exciting way to finish the season. well, stories up and down the field at Le Mans, and I look forward to it. But that will do it for today. That is all the action from Autopolis, and we hope you've enjoyed both divisions of racing today, because I know I have, and I'm sure you have, Matt Dernedde. But thank you very much, Matt, for jumping in the commentary box yet again. It's been an absolute pleasure, and it sounds like you're having some fun in here. Absolutely, and for those of you that are keen to hear more of Matt Dernedde in the commentary box, we've got other broadcasts that have been put up. So we've got the first 3 rounds. Wasn't there for round 2. So if you want to hear Matt, make sure you go and watch rounds 1 and 3. If you want to hear me and Max sort of fumble our way through Dragon Trail Gardens, go and watch round 2. And the even better news is that when we get underway for our ACC Porsche Cup in a few weeks' time, this man in the commentary box right now with me will be alongside me, which will be very exciting. So we'll have some Gran Turismo action and some Porsche Cup action for you as well on the channel, with both of us keeping you company. But for now, that is all we have time for. Thank you so much at home for tuning in. It's been an absolute pleasure to have your company. We hope you've enjoyed all the action, because we certainly have. As always, my co-commentator has been Matt Dernedde. My name is Isaac Foggy. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time. Goodbye.